review of, we will be doing a quick review of what we covered last time, and then before we move into our next session. But again, welcome everybody for being here today. So the first one is revisiting your goals. We touched on that. It's important that you revisit your goals and your action plan on a regular basis with your global action team and your club building teams. This is your action plan is your living document, but again, it's your Bible to help you move forward and making sure that you're following the path to get you to building that new club. A new club, we found out it adds more hands for more service projects, fresh ideas, meet community needs, and it adds new energy to your district as well too, and a variety of other things that the benefits of having a new club in your community. We also covered club types and formats. Part of your community assessment should be what type of club and what format best fits and would create a greater impact in your community that you're looking at. Will it be a traditional club, a virtual club, Leo Lion, a specialty club, or campus club? The other thing I want to touch on are club branches. We want to clarify something about club branch, and we realized last week that the PowerPoint or the presentation doesn't really clearly define what a club branch is. A club branch is not a club. It requires a parent club. Again, a club branch is not a club. A club could have multiple club branch clubs throughout. Each one could have a different specialty or different focus. So again, that is something you need to look at. It is basically a branch of your club or your existing club or the parent club. That is it. The club branch could also have as many as 20, 30, 50 people. They could stay under the umbrella of the original parent club. They don't have to break off. But of course, the ultimate goal is to have them go into their own club and form their own charter. So later on in the resource page, I will give you the link to where you could get the guide for the club branch. So we wanted to make sure that everybody was clear. And also in that page that I will show you later on, has a very good video that was put together by Richard Stevenson as to defining the club branch. The other thing we touched on, developing your team action plan. Developing your team is a vital part of the success in chartering a new club, but it can also be an instrumental in developing a team to rebuild and reestablish clubs. Make sure you have at least one team member that has a clear understanding and knowledge of the community you are canvassing. That is very important. Areas of opportunity. You want to also focus on or look at, besides new areas that you are canvassing, you also might want to consider locations where a club has been shut down within the last 3 or 5 years and reconnect with the community and see where they're at and the feasibility of starting a new club. Back in there again. So here's our agenda for today. We did the welcome, and you know all of us already since you were with us last week. We will be looking at promoting the new club, recruitment, the invitation to your first meeting, the informational meeting. We'll go right into that. Organizing your organizational meeting, what that would look like, and then go into the tip of the iceberg and developing and completing the club application. So last week, we identified 2 areas. we covered developing your team. And that's number one. And number two, we looked at ways you could identify areas and focus of the site search, or areas that you might want to canvas for a new club, or rebuilding a new club, or reestablishing a club as well too. So for this evening, we'll be looking at number 3 and number 4, promoting the club and the recruitment of members, the informational and organizational meeting, and of course, starting the application process. Before recruiting begins and throughout the duration of the club development, promote the club to the community that you're in. Make sure you spread the word and have people spread the word throughout. The launch to a successful campaign is to first identify your potential members, who are the spark clubs in that community, and develop a campaign with highlights with an intentional message of what you want to do and what you would like to accomplish. The appeal of the demographic group that you are trying to target. Take into consideration the age levels within that community. What are the ethnic and cultural demographics of the community? There's various things you could look in there. Is it a university town? Is it a bedroom community where people live there, but they commute to a different site for working? So those are things you need to look at. Where should the new club be promoted? Find the best way to communicate with potential recruits in this process. Consider using a variety of communication methods to reach a wide audience, and also look into ChatGPT or even Google Gemini. There's other resources out there that you can use to spread the word. Ask participants if they have additional suggestions in where you could recruit and who you could ask. The other thing is through email. Make sure that the new area or new club where you're going to build this club has an email address. So that is something very crucial you'll need to look at, especially communicating. But when it comes to recruitment, the key thing is tapping in to a few key people, have them speak with their friends, and then inviting other. There's a variety of ways you could do that as well too.
Can I add something?
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead, Manny.
Okay, so when you're going out on step number 1 and you're looking at the community, really get to know the chamber. Go into, remember when we used to have, or some of you may have known, we had membership growth people that went to district, and they started investigating flyers and activities. You can look at the word volunteer and city as a Google without going into AI, and looking at what events are happening. And when it comes to investigating what to do, for example, with the Special Olympics, I asked them, why don't you get a bunch of people who are interested to volunteer first and get together and do a couple of volunteers and say, do you like what we're doing? Or feeding project, or working whatever they're doing. Just get into that. Regarding social media and emails, it's free to start a Gmail account as it is, just to get that information coming to you, and you can link it to your other one. Then finally, with the print media, and I'll hand it back, Canva on a simple version is free. So you can create some stunning flyers. So that's all I have. Back to you.
Yes, and Canva is free for nonprofits, but if you pay for the subscription, you get a little bit more in it. I know there's a lot of nonprofits that are now they switched over from PowerPoint or presentations to Canva, and because it's easy to manipulate. So it's something to look into as well too. And of course, if you have for print materials, you could order materials from LCI that have them available. There's also community colleges, they have a print shop. They do banners and things like that at a discounted rate. So there's a variety of resources there that you could link into as well in promoting.
Juanita, this is
Yes,
Lion Stan. Hi. So when Daniel Elkins spoke about the Lions Virtual, he mentioned that he was using several programs with it, and I'm guessing that Canva was probably one of the programs he was paying for. Is that correct?
in other words, he was paying for the Canva. I'm not sure who paid for the Canva in
Well,
that respect.
my
But
question is, so I guess my question is, does Canva work with Lions Virtual if you have an account?
that I don't know. Oh, Manny's saying yes.
Yeah, Canva is a visual AI. And you can actually add the Lions brand to Canva and have it create flyers that are branded for Lions.
Okay.
And
All
there's a
right.
very simple YouTubes about how to do that.
Okay.
And you can easily navigate through that. But if you're gonna open an account, use your district's to have that more, as they say, more tools for less dollars.
Right.
Good question, Stan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Manny.
Now, the other thing is to preparing your introductory speech. How are you going to relay the information that you want? So the key thing is to prepare your presentation for people you're going to be meeting. What do you want to accomplish from that meeting? What you want to relay to the potential members? Explaining the solution, how it can be moved forward. Explain what makes the organization different, what makes you different from any other organization or service organization you have out there. And the last thing, of course, when you have them sign on the line, complete the application, that is closing the deal. How are you going to move forward with that? And a lot of this takes practice. You need to probably rewrite several different times, you're going to have to change it to who you are addressing. So that is something to look into when it comes to writing your introductory speech. They say the elevator speech, but I want to consider it more of an introductory speech, that because you're introducing yourself, you're introducing the organization. And in general, there are 6 ways a Lions Club can be developed. And here are the 6 ones. The 6, it is through canvassing, that's recruiting the community and business. Limited recruiting, people that are recommended by other Lions or key community members. Group conversation, meeting with an established group. It could be like healthcare professionals or firefighters or first responders. The group recruiting, have informational tables display out so you can meet with groups in the community. Social media recruiting, that is also key. You could put out in Facebook and different social medias, you're having a meeting, you want to bring in members to participate in this information meeting. And of course, event activity recruiting, that's like a service project. That is a key factor in inviting members to come in for a service project, or you have a social event, just a very casual social event to introduce people to what Lions is. Okay. Part of being the Lion is the benefits it offers its members. The new members may ask, what do they get for the dues and fees that they pay? You may also want to share what LCI provides in the area in the form of insurance to the clubs, to their fundraisers and their service projects and events. So here you have people who do business with colleagues, community leaders, relatives, friends, neighbors, religious affiliates, local professionals. Here is the key factor that you need to work with your team and other Lions to create this list of potential members and reach out to other Lions to help out as well too. You may have multiple clubs within your district or within your, that are close by, like I know C4, L2, L4, they have several clubs there. You could work hand in hand to help recruit members for a new club or to bring back a new club. And of course, they specify here that Just Ask Guide. That is something that's available to anyone that would like to participate in.
And Juanita, this is Stan again. Hi.
Yes.
We actually have another benefit. You know, we have our AJ Robinson where we go out and do health clinics, and we did a couple of events at the Mexican consulate in San Jose, and the gentleman who's heading up as our doctor is actually from RotoCare, which is Rotarian.
Oh.
But it turns out that the Rotarians have this new beautiful health van and doing all sorts of service, but they can't go to the Mexican consulate because they don't have insurance. And we do have insurance. So that's a huge draw for when you're trying to recruit optometrists and nurses and everything. We have insurance.
Yes, yes. And also you have civic organizations. That's how we brought a club back. We connected with a civic organization that to hold events, they had to purchase separate insurance for the day or for the event. We recruited them in to become members, and now when they have events or fundraisers, they're covered. So that was a huge draw. We managed to bring in 12 new members with that.
Fantastic.
At that time.
Wow.
So we were able to revive them back again. Thank you, Stan. Okay. Being part of a Lion has its benefits. Here you have the listing of why it's important and why it's key to become a Lion. Lions become part of a legacy of an organization that's been in existence for more than 100 years. We make a difference. We serve with pride. We build local and global networks throughout the world. The leadership skills that we build as well too, and the Lions that receive global support throughout the world. And of course, the other big thing is the development, the leadership and personal development that the Lions Learning Center has. And of course, all the courses and leadership development that's within the organization. And these benefit a person or individual not only through Lions, but also in a professional manner, because these are all skills that they can learn along the way and use them depending on what their occupation is. In the years of recruiting members, it has been found that the one reason for someone not joining the Lions is because they simply are not asked. And the charter application is not explained completely. They're not provided with correct information. So it's important that as the club organizer, along with the district governor and the team, that you collect information and provide correct information to everyone. Here's this grouping. I had never seen it before until I started going through the slides here, but you group them in different categories. You have the group one, the early adapters. They're the ones that completed the application right offhand once you spoke to them, and they paid the charter fee. Group two is the high interest prospects. They come to a club meeting or prospective potential new building of a new club. They show interest, but not quite there to complete the application yet. Group three may be interested, but cannot attend meetings. So that is something you need to follow up with. Group four, possible prospects. These are names of people that have been provided to you. that you need to reach out to and follow up with. And of course, number fives are the ones that just not interested. They express no interest in the organization. And the one thing that I found out when we were recruiting to build a club a couple of years ago was once you connect with a group of people that are interested in building the club, you maintain communication with them no less than every week. You need to keep them in the loop, let them know, walk them through the process, let them know that you're staying on top of it, that you are following up with them, you want to stay connected with them. So that communication with the potential new members, even though they haven't signed off on the application, keep them in your email list and just follow up with them and find out if there any additional information they need or any questions that need to be addressed. But the key thing is following up constantly until you're finally done with the recruitment process and you're ready to move forward. So that is a key factor when you're getting ready to organize the club. And I hope this works. I tried it earlier and it's a little 4-minute, a little bit over 4-minute video from Daniel Elkins. And it touches on a little bit of the asset-based community development. And it's another form of recruitment. And it's something he will touch on when they have the sessions in January and February. And he will elaborate a little bit more, but this is just a short segment on it. So hopefully it works, man. I keep my fingers crossed. Are you able to play it from your end, Manny?
Yeah, let me try it real quick. And also let me know if you can hear the sound. Okay, hold on a second. Let me try something different. I'm gonna escape from this. I'm gonna go off the system. Okay. Escape. I love technology.
I tried it earlier and it worked just fine.
Yeah.
It's only good when it works.
Yeah, true. Let's see. Nope, it's not doing it with me. Let me just go into one more thing.
Okay, and if not, we'll just move forward.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me just try one more last thing. I'm gonna go with here. I'm gonna
Stop sharing that other screen.
yes, I know. Let's see. I'm gonna escape this, reset, come back in. What slide was that? That was Daniel.
Slide 11.
I got it. Coming back in. Share. Make sure audio and video is there. And slide. Share. Let's see. No, it's not advancing.
Okay, let's move forward.
Okay, let me give you a remote again. Hold on. All right. You got it.
Okay.
Manny
you
never
for
gives up. That's why we,
Excuse me,
Go ahead.
is that available on YouTube?
I think it is, but this is embedded in the PowerPoint presentation. So when I send it to you, I'll include the clip in there.
And at the end of this, if I find it in time, we can play it at the end.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Okay. Move back. So basically what he touches on is the asset-based community development. What he did was reach out to different nonprofits within the community there. And he reached out to them asking, in other words, their club was asking, how can we help you? where can we be of help to you? And so the club went in there, provided support to the nonprofit organization. The nonprofit organization liked what they did and how they just stepped in and provided assistance to them, provide support. The nonprofit asked, how can we be part of this? And that's how he was able to get them to become Lions, was that when he went in and provided that help. So in other words, like he says in the second bullet here, actions speak louder than words. Show who we are through service. In other words, step in, offer assistance without any commitment or anything, no mentioning that you're going to recruit or have them sign off on anything. You're just going in there to provide a helping hand. That is the bottom line. And then you provide a partnership with this organization as well. And in the next slide, we will show you the coalition model clubs that he mentions in the video. So the community needs to evolve. And so you have to evolve with the community. So that must be through the service that Lions does. Oops, too fast. So here's the coalition model for club success, involving groups with youth, groups with parents, the business community, media. You have radio, TV stations, other sources, the schools, youth serving organizations, law enforcement. So here he have all the bases that he covered in regards to the asset-based, community asset-based information to develop a new club. His focus was groups to end substance abuse, and that's his specialty, working with youth and substance abuse agencies. And so he was able to move forward with starting a club to help out students with that, just like the Lions Quest program. That is also another way of starting a new club.
I did find the video too.
Oh, okay, we'll show it at the end. The other thing too is to consider starting, creating a to-do list with the action steps the team needs to accomplish, who is responsible for each action step, and mark when each step is completed. Oh, that jumped by itself.
I didn't touch anything, but go ahead and go back.
It won't let me.
Really?
Oh, there it goes.
Okay.
Okay, so, oh gosh, it's a little slow at my end over here.
Yeah, give it a second.
Okay, there it is. Yeah, I've been clicking on it too quickly. So here's a simple basic to-do list, and this would be for phase 3, section 3 of what we're covering right now. So that is pretty much it. And I'll be showing you another to-do list later on that was developed by another past district governor, and we will share that with you. The thing is, it's very small to see, but I will reproduce it so I could send it to you as a separate attachment. So that's a good thing to have. And it builds accountability too. Okay, here's the key things for your informational meeting. The objective here is to begin to build a new club's membership and prepare for the within the organization. When you're planning your information meeting, make sure you have a nice room where you could set up. And it's interesting they say no vest, but dress professionally, business attire, that and to give them the welcoming. Provide name tags. That's important. That way everybody is able to introduce themselves, and also have members from the sponsoring club or even your team to welcome them and introduce themselves and also introduce to each other. When you do the meeting, again, you will do the welcome and introductions just like any other planning for the meeting. And as much information you could provide will help to increase the attendance as well too. You provide the Lions overview, the benefits and the cost. That is a key factor to let them know how much it's going to cost. Let them decide on their project ideas. Try not to tell them what to do. Have it come from them, because this is going to be their club. So they need to these are things they need to discuss within themselves as to what they wish to accomplish. And that comes from the community needs assessment. You might want to introduce the community needs assessment of what you developed when you went in canvassing, and introduce those needs to them as well too. And they may very much be aware of them already. Make sure you schedule your next meeting. Let them know of that next meeting right away as soon as you can. Don't wait. If you can, collect the charter fees at that time. And then also ask the new members to invite friends or family for the next meeting. You want to keep the momentum going and building this club. And of course, always send an email thanking them, thanking the attendees for their participation. Follow up with communication to members that weren't able to attend but are showing interest. Continue promoting your meeting through all the social media, bulletins, newsletters that you send out, and send meeting reminders. Make sure you send a meeting reminder the week before, the week of, and even the day before. So that's important to make sure that people don't forget. Involve the sponsoring club. That's important because that way they're in the loop of what's transpiring with the building of the new club. The organizational meeting. This is where the club members will elect officers and begin planning the first service project. At this meeting, they will choose and name the meeting dates, time, and locations. This is where they start making decisions for their club. The recruitment team should be part of the organizational meeting and future meetings that come afterwards until the club is chartered. The club support team is there to provide guidance, as I mentioned earlier, to provide guidance and support to the team. They are not there to make the club look like other clubs. Let them establish their own environment for their club. What is it they want to do? How do they want their club to look? This meeting can determine how the new members will view the Lions Club International, and how they can determine how active and how long they will stay as a club. And the organizational meeting should be over several meetings, and the components can happen over several meetings. So this is something that's not decided right away. I know the club that we started out in Port Hueneme took multiple meetings before everything was set and established, because at the same time you're bringing in your officers and everything, you're bringing in also new members that are becoming charter members. So you want to take them into consideration as well too. So as you're organizing the meeting, it's evolving. The growth of this club is evolving. Determining the club name. Once you have recruited the 20 members, the district or sponsoring club can begin the new club charter application. And part of that are the 4 components that are here. It's naming the club. Make sure the club names must contain the actual name of the municipality. So like mine is Santa Maria Sunrisers Club. We live in Santa Maria. Manny's club is Montebello Lions Club. So it must contain the name of the town, city, or village that you are living in, where that club is going to be, establishes its base, in other words. Distinguishing designation is used to provide clear identifier for the clubs in the same municipality. So you may have multiple clubs in the community. So you might want to add something in there that distinguishes you separately. Like you could add noontime or morning or sunset, that type of a thing. You cannot name the Lions Club after a living person, and you cannot add international to the name. It's already in there. You already fall under the guidelines of international.
There was a question about, can it be a county club named after a county?
No, it has to be the city where it's going to be based. Okay.
What
I'll
about
just-
branch clubs? Do they have to have the name of the town?
Yes, they do.
Thank you.
Okay.
What's meant by a governmental unit? That's Claudia Miller. On the
Oh,
left, it said they could be named after a governmental unit. So wouldn't that be like a county?
Oh, you know what? I don't know for sure. I'm thinking like first responders or something like that, or county of Modesto veterans type of a thing.
Ah,
Or what if they're like a Zoom club? They're not physically located in one town.
I would suggest when you submit the application, that would be considered a virtual club. Submit the application and LCI would guide you through that. Because yeah, you're right. You could be located in different parts of the state or the county. You'll see what they would suggest when it comes to that.
I believe that you could submit for exceptions, and I think it has happened before.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Juanita,
Linda. Yes.
the actual definition of a governmental unit is boundaries set, like an area. My club is called the Byron Delta Club. The name of our town is not Byron Delta, but we are in the Byron Delta we are in the Delta region. So that might be what they mean by a governmental union. It's surrounded by the boundaries that are legally governed and like a municipality, and you can vote. So.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. I wasn't sure on that. I mean, I don't know everything, so thank you for those of you that
You're
know
welcome.
that. Thank you. Okay, now that the club has begun meeting, it is time to submit the application for approval. There is a charter application worksheet that should be used as a guide to ensure you have collected all the necessary information to submit the application online. LCI program, staff, and support teams can provide help with the application process. So this is the information they will need to begin that process. You submit everything to Lions Club International through the portal. The members or leaders or designees that can complete the application and submit it online is your district governor, your GMT coordinator, your GET coordinator, the coordinating lion of the sponsoring club, or the sponsoring club president, or the sponsor club secretary. So in the portal, this designates as to who's eligible to enter the information. The club sponsor, all new clubs must have a sponsoring club or district. So either a sponsoring club or the district could sponsor a brand new club. It requires a minimum of 20 members. If it's under 20, you still want to move forward with it, then it has to be a club branch, and it falls under the parent club. It cannot move over to a full standard club until it reaches 20 members or more. Make sure you identify a guiding lion, somebody that is a fit for that club, that will work cohesively with that club. It is recommended you have 2 guiding lions to provide that support, but we know sometimes it's a challenge to provide more than 1 guiding lion. And of course, the other one is, I'm not sure how many have done this, but districts that charter 10 or more new clubs in a fiscal year must submit documentation to LCI. So that would be nice if it could be done. You never know, we may be able to do it, but I don't think very many of us would be able to do that. Here's the one thing that a lot of you asked last time, was with this slide here, is the fees and dues and discounts. International dues, and these are things that you need to make your charter members aware of and make sure they understand the fees and dues associated with the organization. Not understanding the fees has been a key factor as to why charter members don't stay. This can be discussed at a general meeting during the informational meeting, but they should all have a clear understanding before you get to that organizational meeting and the chartering process. The charter dues are prorated. There's a set annual rate, but depending on when the members actually get entered, it figures out the prorated amount for that time frame. So if you join on June 1st, you're only going to get billed for June because the year ends on June 30th. But if you join July 1st, you're going to get billed for the whole year. So it just depends on when you come in. The club dues, the club will decide the dues that they will charge in order to cover international, club, and district dues. So the club will decide on its own club dues, but they need to make sure that they cover all the dues that are required by international and their districts. The interest fees, of course, we all know that is a one-time paid fee by all new members. That is the $35. There have been instances where the district or the club has paid for the charter fee, the one-time fee. So that is something you might want to look into. And here's the discounts that we also look into, is the family members. The first family member pays a full international, then each member pays only 50%. But the caveat to this, keep in mind that when it comes to voting, that additional member who's only paying 50% is not eligible to vote. So that's something to think about. If you want everybody to vote, then everybody has to pay the full dues. Students pay only 50% of the entrance fee up to the age of 30. Transfer members, if they've been in a Lion for the past 12 months, they only pay, I believe it was $20 for the transfer fee. And of course, Leo Lions, they pay 50% of the international dues until the age of 35.
And right now.
Juanita,
Yes,
can I make a suggestion?
sure.
When you're putting this slide up, I think what you should do is add the actual cost in there so people get an idea of what the cost is, what the cost of the international dues is. Club dues is a whole different ball game, but they need to know the international dues and the fact that they gotta pay district dues as well as multiple district dues. And they need to know those fees that helps them understand the situation rather than having it
Right.
thrown at them all at once they become a member and it wasn't explained to them. That
Okay.
creates a little disharmony, if you will.
One of the ideas that we did when we were starting clubs in our district is that we came up with a standardized sample administrative budget so that the group itself can come around and figure out what their club dues, but it did have it breaking down by the international MD district and their club. but at least they were able to, since it was on Excel, they were able to put in a formula and figure out how much their dues would be. For example, they had all their admin costs. They knew that there was a certain amount that they would be doing, like the $20 state fee, postal, printing, badges and such. And then you added in the member and then said, okay, if we're going to pay this amount for the dues, this is what it is. The bottom line, very quickly, they can figure out what their dues are going to be as they start the club.
Yeah, in my orientation briefings, I always put down what a sample budget looks like on the fees so that the clubs can adjust accordingly. That's what I do, and so far it's working. We had a lot of confusion the last couple of years. They didn't know this, didn't know that, and since things have changed, so that's what I do. I put it in there, and there's no misunderstanding anymore.
Okay, thank you,
Juanita,
Norm. Yes,
my understanding about family memberships is that it affects the amount of delegates, not who can vote. The amount of
Right.
delegates in your club.
you're correct, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so if
that's the amount
I
of
belong to
delegates, they
a
cannot,
family membership, and I can still vote.
no, you have to pay the full amount now.
No, I
That
can vote,
changed last year.
but it's how many delegates?
For
the club
international, you
gets.
can't vote.
I think there's a difference between talking about voting on club motions versus a delegate at a conference. And that's
Right.
where if you're a family member, then you can't be a delegate.
Correct.
Right,
I'm gonna have
in-
to read that again then.
yeah, it's international. I know you cannot be a delegate to vote at international level. That changed last year, a couple of years ago.
I read that in the membership thing that we went over before we took the classes in Orlando, but that was not my understanding. I'll read it again.
Okay, yeah, and let us know
that-
because make sure it's the most updated one.
PDG Vanita.
I think that was
Go ahead.
Hi, this is Kevin.
Yes.
I was in credential committee at International in Melbourne. The thing is that, yes, the half paying dues member, they do not vote, like they are not counted, but they do count towards the club count. They can vote if the club count is there, but it becomes half. It's not like
Yes,
that
ma'am.
they cannot vote.
yes,
Okay.
and
But
but
the count
I'd like
becomes
to add
half.
something to that because
Go ahead, Stan.
yes, so I think it was at Boston that we voted on the Boston or Montreal. We voted on that, and so it's the number of delegates you have for that you're assigned. So I know family members don't count towards getting delegates. So if you have if you have 15 members and 2 of them are delegates, well, you only get one. And 2 of them are family members, you only get one delegate. But if they had both been full members, you would have gotten 2 delegates because you were at 15 or more.
Right.
So that's the way it's counted. But that just goes to the number of delegates. However, anybody from your club who is a Lion can show up and vote that delegate vote. You can still be chosen as a delegate even if you're a family member. So
Okay.
it just works that way. When
Okay.
they just want Lions to vote, and you're the assigned delegate. So it's not that you can't be a delegate; it's just you don't count towards the number of delegates.
That's
Okay.
right.
Thank you. Thank you for clarification. Okay. Next one. So here's the club action plan that was shared with us. I will recreate this for you and put it in Word. That way you can manipulate it any way you you want and use it whichever way you wish. And I will recreate this for you and send it to you with the slide pack as well too. Yay. Oops. And here's the link for the recruiting materials. As we mentioned, we shared this with you last time. Make sure you do go in there to review it. If you need to order supplies or the new club starter kit, they will send it to you as well too. It's just a matter of contacting the membership division so they could forward that to you. And here's the club branch information that I shared with you earlier. Please do take some time to look at the video that is shared there. That really gives a clear picture of how to put together the club branch and how it functions within the parent club. So that's why I went ahead and included it in here so you could share it and share it with you. If anybody's considering this, it'll be a great way to go and add in new members, especially if there's a special interest that they wish to pursue and with the club branch.
Juanita, may I say something about branch club?
Sure.
We had a branch club on the Big Island, and they had enough members to start a new club. What I didn't like about it was that the parent club looks bad on their records because it shows dropped members. I'm hoping that International can make it a change of some sort so that it doesn't look bad on their record that they dropped members.
Also, they don't show it as transfer?
No, it showed dropped.
Ooh.
Well, transferred is still dropped member.
Yeah, the club loses. Go ahead.
They're requiring you to drop a member in order to transfer them now.
Yeah.
It's not just a straight transfer, it's a drop and then a transfer.
They have to drop in order for the new one to be picked up. Yes. Yes.
So maybe you folks can talk to Lions Clubs International and see if they can somehow, you know, make it look different on the records.
So it doesn't show as a drop.
Yeah, so that the branch club doesn't look bad. I mean, as membership chairperson that year, I awarded that club a certificate for sponsoring a branch club and that the branch club graduated to become their own club.
In other words, the parent club is shows like it's being penalized for
That's
having
correct. That's correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We will share that. Lion Liz?
Juanita, I just wanted to pop in. We have a branch club from my club, and it doesn't show those members being dropped from my club, but rather it shows all of the members listed in the host club, and then we have an additional branch club in the system. But when LCI looks at the host club, because they're going to send out dues bills, they get all the members of the club, including the branch members. We've never seen and have had an issue with members being dropped from the host club. They show up in both, but we know who's in which club.
And the thing is, they're still members of the parent club.
Correct.
Not if they form their own club.
No.
Not as a branch club. If they form their own separate club, then absolutely.
Yes.
But if they're listed as a branch club, they're still technically members of the host club.
That's correct. I was talking about them forming a new club. They had enough members in the branch club to form a new club, and that's what they did.
Then you're absolutely correct, because they're no longer a branch club. Now they're an actual, real, regular Lions club.
A standard club, yes. So take a look at that video, Cecilia, and that'll give you better information. But no, it's something I'll check with Mark and see what we could look into that. But no, I see your point. But yeah, again, they're not members of that club anymore. They're a standalone. They're on their own already. And here's the charter application checklist. This will be included in the slide that we sent, the slide pack that we sent to you. But this is a list you refer to in there, and it's very easy to follow. All applications are submitted to Lions Clubs International through the Lion portal. You submit payment online, mail a check, money order, wires transfer, or deposit slip to Lions International. I'm not sure what a Lion or a deposit slip, what that is. But when we did the chartering this past year, it was, they wanted the money done via electronically. So it was like through PayPal or credit card. They really don't like for us to send in checks. They prefer the electronic version to have things move quicker, and that way it's processed quicker. But they do require all the funds all at once before the chartering can be completed. So this is something to look at, and here it explains the whole timeline. And here the third and final session. Like I said, after the session, you'll get the slide pack that we did tonight. The next session will go into the chartering approval process, the steps that need to be completed. There are some steps that you need to follow. The charter night planning, setting up your planning committee, that involves some planning as well too. Continue with the club development. It is ongoing for a couple of years. It's not, the club is charter, they have the charter night, you're done. No, you're not. That support needs to continue on. And between Manny and I will touch more detail into that. Next steps that need to be completed and processed, the follow-up that goes on after the club is chartered as well too. We will be touching on the filing of tax forms, the submissions for the different legal documents that the club will need, setting up bank accounts, the bank documents, that type of a thing. So we'll touch on the nitty-gritty of that final process. But again, when you're looking at developing a club and you are the sponsoring club, it doesn't end at the charter. You need to be with them throughout the whole process for at least a couple of years. Okay, Manny, go ahead and take out the slide.
Okay.
Thank you.
And answer the question about the voting, it is in the standard bylaws, so download the LA2 in the portal, and you can get it in legal resources. So while I'm doing that, I am going to actually pull up the video so you can hear it. Going full screen, boom, and stand by. I do come with sound effects. Okay. I believe this is it.
Well, hello, Lions. My
Can
name
you
is
hear it?
Lion Daniel Marnielkins, and
Yes,
today
no?
I'm here
No.
to talk to you
Okay.
about
Let me find out what's going on.
community
Because
development.
you're real,
the
real soft.
ABCDs.
Yeah. Audio. Oh, here it is. Okay, going back here and playing it.
Well, hello, Lions. My
How's
name is
that?
Lion Daniel Marnielkins, and today I'm here to talk to you about asset-based community development, the ABCDs of how to build and grow membership in Lions. What is the core of the concept of asset-based community development? It's based on foundational truths. The foundational truths are: 1, everyone has gifts. 2, everyone has something to contribute. And 3, everyone cares about something, and that passion is his or her motivation to act. Now, when you talk about asset-based community development, you are talking about an asset-based approach to community. This is different from the needs-based approach that Lionism has been built on for the last century or so. You all know the saying, where there's a need, there's a lion. And a needs-based approach focuses on the deficiencies. It focuses on what's wrong in a community. Now, people are the consumers of your service, and community members observe as issues are being addressed. When you talk about a community needs assessment, you are looking at what the needs in the community are. Now, an asset-based approach is focusing on the effectiveness, the potential skills and talents and passions and resources that exist within the community that could be motivated and recruited to help spread Lionism and grow service within that community. With an asset-based approach, community members participate and are empowered. So how do you use this theory to help charter new clubs, revitalize old ones? Well, it starts with asset mapping. Asset mapping is the process by which you look at a community and you begin to list out all of the potential assets within that community, whether or not it's local nonprofits that you could potentially partner with, whether or not that there's a local library that you could potentially base a club branch out of, whether or not it's that you have a number of schools that you could put in a Leo Club at. These are all the potential assets that you could be using to revitalize Lionism within your area. Taking the asset approach means listing out all of these things and developing a contact list that you begin with in order to build the structure for growth in that area. Where there is an asset, there is a future lion. Asset mapping and the process of listing out these places is a fairly simple process to do. There's an app for it, and I believe you'll learn a little bit more about that during this presentation. But also, you can just go to Google and Google what are the local nonprofits in my area. Google what are the organizations that serve youth in the area or serve homelessness or any one of our areas that we want to focus on. You can begin to pinpoint and target, which gives you the opportunity to be able to reach out to these people and activate what they are already doing and already passionate about. I did asset-based mapping in my community, and I found that one of the assets we had was a young man who was an artist. And I asked him what he was passionate about. And he said he was passionate about art and teaching art. And so I pulled out a Lions Club application and I said, excellent. That's exactly what we do. And because we were willing to adapt and change and use the asset-based approach, that became what we did as Lions. And he is now in the process of working on chartering an entire artist club for our community. Asset-based community development. There's a map that will lead us to the promised land of increased membership. You just got to use it. Thank you very much for listening. And if you need to know more, feel free to reach out and I will answer any questions that you have. Asset mapping and the process of...
All right, I just hit the return button.
So at least that gives you another perspective of how to go about with recruitment. There's lots of ideas. Go to that Lions of the United States YouTube channel, and that has also a wealth of information there for you. And a lot of it will be from also what they're planning on for January and February sessions. But I hope all of you got something out of it to this evening. Again, I don't know everything. What I don't know, I will look into and get correct information to you. But I want to thank you, everybody, for spending this evening with us. Manny, did you want to touch on anything?
No, the only thing is please use also YouTube and just go into the search engine, put in Lions. Like for instance, that's how I found it. Lions asset management, recruitment. There's quite a few information in there just to show how to. And we have Bob that has his hand up.
Yes, I do. Thank you. I wasn't able to attend the first session, and so I'm interested in knowing what you're sending out and whether I will receive the information for the first session as well. I have put the third one in my calendar, so I'm interested to know what I will receive as a participant.
Okay, Bob, we'll get that to you, the recording and the slide pack from the first session as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I got.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anybody wish to touch on anything before we sign off?
Hello, I'm Sharon Kane, and I also was not able to attend the first one. So I would like all the information as well.
Okay,
Thank you.
And we
Anybody?
have
And
June.
me
Larry.
too,
June?
Beth Estante.
Okay.
And June
Who was that?
Ferreira,
I'm sorry?
somebody asked a question about can the military base use their name?
I think you need the permission from the base to see if you could even set that up in there.
Yeah, you definitely have to get permission if you want to use a military name.
Okay, somebody just
Because
asked
it's
a question.
protected. Yeah, it's a protected.
Okay.
Yeah, when you call LCI and I believe it's one, you hit one for new club development, they're more than happy to answer that question. Anything with new clubs that call in and just go to new clubs, it's right away.
Yeah. Cecilia?
I was able to get Canva, the professional one, for free using our foundation in Hawaii. We have a Hawaii Lions Foundation.
Yep.
And if you can prove you're working or you're anyway associated with them, then you can get it free too.
Yes, that's a very good resource right there.
One comment, please.
Yes, go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, on the membership benefits, I'm surprised that the member perks were not listed. What I mean by that is that if you're a member of Lions Clubs, you do have some rewards. You know that, right? Discounts from several entities like Budget Rent a Car and so on, and also discounts from if you go to a Wyndham Hotel, I believe, and so on and so forth. Just put in member perks, and we'll tell you what those rewards are for Lion members. Benefits for Lion members.
And those are
Yeah.
mentioned in the LCI website as well too. Those are mentioned.
Yeah, it's called
Some-
member perks. Lions Club International member perks, PERKS, and we'll show
Yeah.
you.
And we tend to forget those sometimes.
Yes, we do.
Thank you, Larry. Anybody else want to share anything before we log off?
No, good
Okay.
presentation, Juanita. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I will get this to everyone within the next couple of days. If there's anything that you need clarification on or anything, it was just brought to our attention about the club branch. We want to make sure that everybody was clear that a club branch is a branch of the parent club and not officially a club. So we wanted to make sure we were clear on that because the slide presentation didn't delineate that at all. So we're glad we got that.
Sorry,
Stanto?
PDG Vanita, one question, technical question.
Yes. Go ahead.
Well, if there is ID and password, when we put in the Zoom, my Zoom, it takes me again to register. Is there any way that you can just give ID and password so that we can directly log in from our Zoom instead of, clicking that browser and all that?
Oh, we'll help you with the technical stuff. We'll send that as a separate email.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you on November 7th. That's the final one when we close the deal and get everybody moving forward. So in the meantime, hopefully you are planning on starting that brand new club. Get your feet wet in there, get in there and get the process started, okay? Don't wait. Again, don't wait. You need to get in there because we're hoping that when the sessions start in January and February, you'll get a lot more detailed information and a different presentation. But their hope is that you will be on the verge or just about ready to start that club. So again, take this as a planting the seed and get your momentum going to start that new club, okay? But again, reach out to me if you have any questions, or Manny or Mark, and we're there to help you out in any way that we can. But again, thank you,
have an
everyone, and
application
wishing everybody a
on
good day.
now. Hey, Juanita.
Pardon me?
It's
Yes,
Darlene.
Darlene.
I have an
Yes.
application in now. I'm entering members. I think
Okay.
we'll have up to 14 soon, and hopefully 20 will be able to charter.
that-
Hopefully the next month.
All right. As we know, it's a process. For those of us that have done it, it's a process, and it's to help you all go through that process. But again, thank you, everyone, and we'll see you on November 7th. Have a great evening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Juanita.
Bye-bye. You're welcome. Good night.
See you in the morning.
Oh, yes. Yes, see you in the morning.
It's like,
I
again?
better send out that reminder.
Repeat. Good night, guys.